Absolutely. Moving on to the news now, more contemporary news with current talent. We're actually no longer talent. Lacey Evans no longer with WWE. The 33-year-old mom and former Marine hinted at her departure in social media on Monday. Details are not yet available as to what happened. Obviously, when you look at her Instagram, that's a really nice ass there. Wow. As she wrote on her legal name, when the clock strikes 12, you will address me as Macy Estrella from here on out. And this jacket is up for grabs. Be on the lookout, she wrote. I got to tell you, again, if you don't follow her, it's Limitless Macy on Instagram and Twitter. I got to tell you, man, hashtags coming soon, hashtags no manners Macy, hashtags got to think of something other cool hashtags, kind of funny. She's been with WWE since 2016. Obviously someone that stood out at the Performance Center in Orlando. Great gimmick that they gave her, the Southern Belle, back in the spring of 2018. Was involved in a very hot program, if everyone remembers that. Actually, the following year, in 2019, when she teamed up with Baron Corbin against then WWE Universal Champion Seth Rollins and his wife, the Becky Two Belts at the time, Becky Lynch. So that was a really hot program for her. Obviously, the Southern Belle gimmick fizzled out for whatever reason. They tried to adopt a more sort of serious look to her character. She is a U.S. Marine, one that was trying to be built up as a sympathetic figure, someone who grew up in a broken home, left home because of just abuse, joined the Marine Corps. Obviously, I thank her for her service, probably one of the hottest looking Marines I've ever seen. And they try to evoke that character with her. Obviously, she got into a little bit of a Twitter war with Sergeant Slaughter, WWE Hall of Famer and former World Wrestling Federation champion. Again, when they brought her back on television, though, Pat, it was weird because it wasn't really getting the reception. And you would think, hey, they're trying to play off this sympathetic baby face. Hey, I'm trying to make it. I'm a single mom. Obviously, we all know that in 2019, 2020, or 2021, excuse me, there was the kayfabe storyline that Ric Flair turned on his daughter, Charlotte, to go manage Lacey Evans because he got Lacey pregnant. Coincidentally, Lacey was already pregnant in real life, so it was easy to write her off television. But I don't want to be the typical mark and say they didn't book her correctly or they didn't use her right. I just think someone who it's
the booking
weird.
Committee.
Some booking committees, yeah. It's hard to sort of put a finger on the pulse here of what went wrong with Lacey Evans. I think they tried to put her out there. I think she got over at first as a heel with the Southern Belle character. The Marine character, I don't know, it just didn't resonate. You could tell that the crowd wasn't really popping for it. Not because people, we don't like servicemen or women. I mean, obviously it's an inspiring story. It just wasn't getting over, and it's weird. She's still young, I think. Where she, catches on next remains to be seen. But a good-looking woman, good athlete. I mean, I think she checks off a lot of boxes. We'll see what happens. Yeah, look at that ass right there. That's amazing. You know what? I hope
it's kind of small.
Well, okay. Well, again, it's just
what world you live in.
It's a small ass.
Well,
you're a white dude. You don't know nothing about butts.
I know all about ass.
You know about me. But again, just it's weird.
Look, I'm Puerto Rican, bro. I'm the butt expert. That's a little ass. It's a nice ass, but it's a little ass.
There's really not a concise way to figure out what went wrong with Lacey Evans, man.
She didn't have a bigger rump roaster.
First of all, my thoughts in this segment are brought to you by Doñita Plantain Chips. When I'm looking for a cool, refreshing snack that takes me back to La Capital, I go and I get some Doñita Plantain Chips. Really crunchy, crispity. As far as Lacey Evans goes, her first gimmick, I have to say, was probably her best, the Sassy Southern Belle. I thought that was interesting. You could put it in any fucking era and it would work. The finish, the women's right, like everything was cool for that. And she really kayfabed the hell out of it. But I think something happened maybe personally where they kind of had to take her off TV.
Well, she got pregnant. I mean,
Well, no, even before that though.
oh, really?
Even
Okay.
before that, because didn't they like revamp her thing a few times? Because at first she was totally different. Like when she was in developmental,
Yes.
that gimmick was entirely different than it was on the main roster. It was similar to an extent, but I think she was more gimmicky with it, and that to me was like one of the best characters that they came up with.
No, but Pat, she was still the Southern Belle in the whole Ric Flair Charlotte thing, and that's
Yeah, but they modified it though. She was more kind of like 1940s, 1950s female kind of shit, like Rosie the Riveter type of deal.
Okay.
At that point, she kind of became more like a pinup. I
Gotcha.
think maybe
Okay.
that was the next evolution of that. But it just I don't know. It never really caught on with her. She wasn't bad in the ring necessarily, but she wasn't necessarily memorable. But I mean, look, it happens. I think she's gonna end up working for the Snowman. So at some point or another, she's probably gonna end up in AEW. But maybe they'll bring her in for All In or something like that. We don't know just yet. But yeah, man. I mean, for me, it's just again, it's a character that had potential, didn't really catch on for whatever reason, and she just kind of fizzled out. It's bad when like Sergeant Slaughter has bad things to say about you. The fucking you're fighting with a GI Joe.
Well, it was funny because remember, I think a lot of the heat just stems from the fact that Lacey Evans called him out and said, "Listen, I actually served in the Marine Corps. You never did. You took some deferments and never ever served." So again, I think when it gets in that sort of pissing match about the character, and I remember, I think we were talking about this off the air once, where hey, if they're going to turn her heel, what better person as a heater, as a manager, to bring back Sergeant Slaughter with her? Back when he came back, when he returned to WWF in 1990 as the heel Sergeant Slaughter, we talked about this before. It's like, hey, that wouldn't be a bad move to bring him back as her manager. I mean, she was at that point already kind of like the harsh drill instructor in the Marine Corps. Interesting. I don't know. I just think it'll be interesting to see where she lands. She's still relatively young in the sense of life years. We'll see where she lands in the business, but I don't know. I think they kind of did their best with her in terms of trying to, I would say maybe, I guess give her TV time. As I remember, I think in 2021, when she was feuding with Charlotte, having Rick turn on Charlotte to go with Lacey, and then again the kayfabe angle of, okay, now Ric Flair impregnated Lacey Evans. And subsequently, obviously, we all know that Ric Flair got in trouble after that due to the Dark Side of the Ring, Plane Ride from Hell episode, which pretty much got him booted off WWE TV. And then subsequently, she was already married and she got pregnant altogether. So it was just like one sequence of events after another. And I don't think she ever really recovered from that. I mean, good for her. She's a mom. Congratulations to her for that.
She's a model American too.
She is a model American, I'll tell you. But it'll be interesting to see where she lands, and I think she's still a salvageable talent. But again, if WWE couldn't really do much more with her, I doubt. I mean, unless she goes to Impact, because at least Scott D'Amore's got a good creative mind. But if she goes anywhere else, Tony Khan's going to waste her, as we all know.
Bro. Dude, what are you talking about, man? She's going to have a match against Sky Blue. Come on. They're going to have a fucking 5-star match.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Sky Blue more on my team.
Meltzer's going to talk. I mean, Lacey Evans, I mean, she's a star. Macy Estrella. I mean, come on. What didn't they see? I mean, come on. And then Jordan Peterson could get in on there.
Well, I originally thought she was a very powerful woman, a great woman, a model American, and then Derek Jeter could get involved because he got a frog voice too.
By the way, speaking of Jordan Peterson, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. Bailey is catching some heat because apparently
she was reading a Jordan Peterson book.
Yeah, well, she's smart. The guy's an educated writer.
How is that smart, nigga? It's a book. She's just reading a book. Come on. And pardon my N-word, but whatever. I'm from the hood, all right?
Jordan Peterson isn't some ham and egg or academically or intellectually, but okay.
He's a fucking clown. He's fucking clown. He's another fucking hack working a gimmick. Come on. But hey, he's an intelligent dude. He has interesting things to say about life. Okay? How he feels politically, whatever. That's his business. That's her business too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I mean,
I appreciate Bailey no matter what.
We'll see if she catches some heat. I hope.
Oh, we
not.
all do.
And Bailey, please answer my calls, man.
Yeah,
You know, I feel like that song "Stan." You know. So
hopefully she doesn't face any heat or cancel culture.
she's not gonna face any heat. Oh God, stop, really, stop. Over reading a fucking book, like, come on.
All right.
Look, people don't have to root for her. Okay, that's it. People don't have to like her. That's fine. If anything, this is helping her heel gimmick. Fantastic. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's fair.
But like at the end of the day, bro, ain't nobody gonna cancel her. Okay, ain't nobody gonna cancel her. She ain't hurting nobody. You know what I'm saying? She ain't doing nothing wrong. She don't have a history of racist tweets and racist shows and all that other stuff. She's not gonna victimize herself like some people do, like some conservatives do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see a lot of those out there. No,
How can you be a victim and an alpha male at the same time? That's my question, right? But whatever. That's for another show, isn't it?
Absolutely, on Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Speaking of heel gimmicks, let's move on here to interesting take